from your alarm clocks, warning, take the 8:15 into the city. There's a whistle up above, people pushing, people shoving, and the girls who try to look pretty.
You need to know what you're getting into. This is not cops and robbers, or three-dimensional chess, or any game you've ever played. The enemy is everywhere, but he can't be seen. The enemy is highly intelligent and highly resourceful. Eyes and ears will be on you everywhere, and you must act accordingly. It requires absolute commitment to the plan, absolute trust in one another, and absolute doubt in anyone else. Now, if you can't do that, trust me, trust the plan, there's no point in going any further. You able to do that?
I'm gonna fight 'em all. A seven-nation army couldn't hold me back. They're gonna rip it off.
Citizens, you know who I am, the chairman of the United Corporations of America. I love you.
Because I can't forget. Back and forth through my mind behind a cigarette. And a message coming from my eyes says, leave it alone.
I don't understand who is running the government now. To meet the emergency, a corporate constitution was drawn up so that the country, what was left of it anyway, could be administered with maximum efficiency. Naturally, stock was issued, and a certain distribution was effected to the population as a whole. A shareholders' democracy, we call it. Share in USA Inc.
Don't wanna hear about it. Every single one's got a story to tell. Everyone knows about it. From the Queen of England to the hounds of hell. And if I catch it coming back my way, I'm gonna serve it to you. And that ain't what you want to hear, but that's what I'll do. And the feeling coming from my bones says find a
He said you are an excellent CEO, Chief Executive Officer of a company. Russia is your company. You kick the tires, you deal with these problems, and you try to solve them on the spot.
Ну да, это правда, да.
I'm going to Wichita, far from this opera forevermore. I'm gonna work the strong, make the sweat drip out of every pore. And I'm bleeding, and I'm bleeding, and I'm bleeding right before the Lord. All the words are gonna bleed from me, and I will think no more. And the stains coming from my blood tell me go back home.
We're looking forward to working with you as part of our management team. But until tomorrow, we'll be keeping you incommunicado. Security reasons. Goodbye, Glenn. Dane?
Why, hello, peasantry and worker underclass. It is I, Captain Slappy, Chairman and CEO of the United States Corporation. Feel free to send me tithes for your continued existence, or not do that. I'm not Ukraine or Israel. But anyway, so Marjorie Taylor Greene, we'll make this quick because this is, at some point, I need to make it clear how the United States Corporation is structured and should work when it comes to a proxy war. Okay? So, the only person that's you're going to listen to in all of YouTube that's going to make any fucking sense with a brain is Andrew Bustamante, and I agree with him. Because let's consider the following. Ukraine is not Christian, and it is not American, and it is not a democracy. I don't give a fuck if Russia glasses it, burns it to the ground, carpet bombs it. I don't care. Okay? Don't give a shit. It is the very definition of, are you ready? Not my problem. And I can expand that to not my fucking problem. Now, what part of Ukraine could be my problem? Well, I don't make money from the war in Ukraine that America is at with Russia. I don't. Private American contractors, private American corporations, and a bunch of others make money from that, not me. So, let's look at it individually. I, Captain Slappy, do not make any fucking money from it. I don't give a good goddamn what they do with that shithole country. Alright? Don't care. Now, I, Captain Slappy, as Chairman of the United States Corporation, what would you do? Well, I'm a giant trade corporation that must continue its existence, and therefore we must trade. We must get old, junky shit off of our shelves, munitions and otherwise, and ship it to Ukraine. I'm okay with that. I mean, we are talking a trade corporation, correct? And we are talking about the private corporations that make up the United States Corporation, correct? So they must make money, correct? Yes. So all of these things are okay. I don't have a problem with it. You know why? If I'm running a trade corporation, I have to be a goddamn moron to not do that. Okay? It is an opportunity. Russia is also using that as an opportunity because they get to revamp their stuff. They get to push out their old shit, their T-34s, have fun with it, and their shit is what it is. That's part of the economy. This is the real world, kids. This is how it works. All right, so you can cry about Jews or whatever the fuck else you want to cry about, genocide, oh, my feelings. Now, remember, I don't make money from this individually. Me talking about it does not make me money. So, I don't get paid to give a fuck about Ukraine. If you want me to care about Ukraine, you need to pay me. See, if it's okay for you to do that on YouTube or the media, or etc., and cry about, oh, poor Ukrainian kids that you didn't give a fuck about 10 years ago. I mean, give me a break. It's fake pseudo emotions because you get paid to cry and act like a fucking punk on TV. Slappy don't. And he don't get paid to do it on YouTube either. So, Ukraine is its own problem. But, if I was running a trade corporation, you goddamn right I'd be shipping my shit over there. All of this stuff that they're going to take and put in a big fucking pit and blow up. I don't know if you know how they treat munitions. That's what they do. They put it in bunkers and blow it up. Nope. Take all of it, ship it over there. Let them use it. Let them owe us for it. Let us practice war so we may be better at war. Because there is such a thing as getting rusty. Alright, so there you get to lean on somebody like Andrew Bustamante, where this is not Afghanistan, this is Ukraine. Two totally different situations, two totally different conflicts, two totally different sets of rules, if you want to get into it on that one. So, I'm not going to cry. I'm not a paid Russian asset either. I'm not one of those bitches, so I hate to tell you this. I'm absolutely okay with the way the U.S. government is doing their shit. I fully expect the United States military, the CIA, and the others to say, yep, we got to dump a bunch of fucking this, that, or the other into there. It's like, okay, it's your dime. You do it. You take the heat. You take the weight. And that's what the corporation is for. Now, is there anything in Ukraine worth spending resources on? No. There's nothing in Ukraine I give a fuck about. There's nothing in Afghanistan I give a fuck about either. These magic lithium mines and shit, yeah, it's all horseshit. Let that go. Just stick it to the side. Don't worry about it. Ukraine is an empty refrigerator box that kids play in, and they come and they go until they got to go home. In the meantime, it's some hobos that are sleeping in a box, pissing all over it. You know, it doesn't matter. That's all it is. It's just empty refrigerator box. It is my current sandbox and weapons testing bed for experimental uses only. Okay? So, you get to see experimental psychological operations, updating, experimental tactics, strategy, okay? And you get to clean out your old dusty, rusty ass spring cleaning of the closets of munitions and tanks and artillery and shit that you're probably never going to be using ever. And there you go. That's what I would do as a trade corporation. Personally, I wouldn't do anything because I don't give a fuck. All right, there's nothing there for me. All right, I'm not part of the Ukraine porn economy. I'm not part of the Ukraine drug economy. I mean, there's nothing there that interests me. Okay, now that's individually. As a trade corporation, you better fucking believe the first thing you should do is say, why do we not have field agents on the ground infiltrating and influencing everything? Okay, that's common fucking sense, because I can guarantee you the Chinese, the Russians, the French, the Israelis, which we already know, these people are not only there, they are very fucking active, just like South Africa and other places. Again, you have to be a retard to not send someone. To live in a fucking retarded brain vacuum of saying it's not my individually, it's not my fucking problem. Corporationally, it absolutely is a fucking problem, or not a problem. It is a blank check, and let's get to it. Basically, it is an opportunity. That's what it's there for. Now, I know a lot of you want to cry about poor mistreated Ukrainians and, oh my God, they're dying, and the kids and the old lady. Yes, you did not give a fuck about them. They do not give a fuck about you. They suddenly give a fuck when you have something to offer. But I have 0 Ukrainians kicking down my door to help me out. So, let's attempt to remember what Ukraine is. Individually, it's not my problem. Corporationally, you fucking A right it is. So, there is the split and the difference. And that's all there is to it. So, for Marjorie Taylor Greene to say the United States should not be involved is fucking correct. That's mentally retarded. Everyone else is, Margie, so what the fuck is wrong with you? Unless you're stating you want to make sure that we do not have a presence in an active field full of foreign agencies. Okay? Because this goes back to, if I have a military, I have to keep using it to keep it sharp. Okay? That goes for psychological operations. That goes for all kinds of stuff. To test weapons, I have to fucking test them. Okay? Bench testing a fucking rocket launcher is not going to do me any good. Bench testing a rocket launcher in the field will. You find out real quick how shitty the designs are, what works and what will not. Secondly, now you have to rebuild and update how you work with that rocket launcher or artillery. 3 guys, 2 guys, 1 guy, 8 guys. What rounds are good? Are we going to use HE, AP? You know, take your pick. Incendiary today? We don't know. Let's try it out. Let's see what happens. That's war. And it doesn't need your feelings involved. When it's no longer profitable, you will hear Rand Corporation and Raytheon and all the other skunk works cry their little poor hearts out. Oh, we're losing so much money. It's so hard for us. Well, you can go get a real job, or you can just keep going. Because we can just cut the fucking tap off and go hire someone else. That's real world too, everyone. So, when it's unprofitable, they will show up and cry to you and be like, oh, well, now we don't care. Right. But anyway, as far as propaganda goes, of course, Russia's punching out the shit how you should not care. Individually, you shouldn't. You should be going about your day. That's the correct operation of a trade corporation. You go about your day. You eat your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You go to school. You go to work. Shit gets done. Cars get sold. Electricity gets made. Roads get fixed. Bridges get looked at. Railroad trains derail. Railroad trains get fixed. Laws get passed for railroads. So on and so forth. That's how that fucking works. You shouldn't care. Why would you? You don't live there. That's not your fucking problem. You're supposed to be paying someone to go keep your best interest as one of the richest, if not the, corporation of trade on the planet in history. You should be paying a guy to keep up with your best interests. Now, I'm not stating you're getting anything out of it. That's debatable when it comes to these motherfuckers, right? I think we'd agree the United States Corporation is what we would call mentally retarded and special needs. Good news, the other ones are worse. They're worse. They're worse. These people don't give a fuck, and they do not have a version of morality that approaches humanity. So you don't really need to worry about that. I mean, George Washington and the others said, no, there's no morality needed here. We don't need any of that, Don't worry about none of that shit. It's a trade corporation. Get the fuck over it, and it's got to do trade, and we have to do weapons sales, and I'm going to tell you why. This will blow your fucking mind. I get some of you are retarded and don't understand this. So let's go through it. I don't want to be running around with a Springfield 1903. So it'd be super fucking nice in the year 2023 to not be using a Springfield 1903 for combat conditions. Then again, I am extremely in disfavor of the shitty M16s. Just saying, I've had to deal with them fucking things in the real world and they're garbage. All right, the private corporations that punch them out are even worse. They're fucking garbage, okay? I always think that I wished Stoner, they had went with the other, like the AR-10s and etc. Anyway, you get the point. And in order to keep better weapons, better designs, more battlefield testing, you have to create more weapons to be battle tested, to be designed, okay? If you take a break in that section, you just say, nope, no more, you're going to lose what is it? A century of knowledge, training, etc. by people that do that their entire lives. Okay? Tooling, factories, Remington, right? Winchester. Now, this is just rifles. We're not talking sidearms. So if you don't do that, you lose that. Guess what other countries on the planet aren't as fucking retarded as you? Well, I'll bet you Russia, China, Britain, France, Germany, they're not a dumb fuck like you are. Israel, they're not as dumb as you are. So of course they're going to keep that shit going, even if by law they can't. So why the fuck would you stop doing that? So why the fuck would you stop doing war? And in this case, why the fuck would you stop understanding logistics? Why would you stop sending a ship, a victory ship, all the way across over there to Ukraine to dump off some fifth-rated ammo from the 90s that you had sitting back on the shelf? Why would you stop that? You wouldn't stop that. You want those guys in transportation. Are you ready? The truck drivers that bring it to the ship that takes it to the Ukraine, the guys at the port that unload, all the money that's leaving you going into the native population that makes them friendly to you. And I can keep going because it's kind of obvious YouTube is full of retards. Soundbite retards. Okay? It happens. That is the way of the world. There is money to be made by being a simplistic retard that regurgitates simplistic retardation. You can claim Dunning-Kruger. I guess if you really wanted to, I would claim they couldn't pass a Turing test. Okay, as automata. That's just me. The point was, fish in the fishbowl, this is where you're at, but this is not new, and it's people that go out and say, oh, Ukraine is so important. No, it's not fucking important except to the bottom line. And I have a continent-sized trade corporation to keep rolling. Okay? Continent-sized. Now, of course, magically, during the middle of war with Russia, somehow motherfuckers appear to tell you, don't worry about it, don't get involved. As they're not saying, you, listener, don't get involved. They're saying, no, you, listener, totally listen to my propaganda. This is not absolutely an active measures foreign influence deal. We're totally not telling you not to do anything. We totally are telling you to go tell the United States corporation not to fucking do anything. And I will throw out an El Presidente Biden quote of no fucking comment. No fucking comment. Not worried about it today, maybe tomorrow. So, remember basic common sense shit. War is a racket. I'm glad you grew up. I'm glad you just caught that. You can cry, oh, it's so unfair. You don't give a fuck. You never gave a fuck. I know you never gave a fuck because you've never done anything to change it or do it, run it or anything. So why would anyone listen to your expert fucking analysis? Now, I do get to sit back and say, there are ways we should not deal with Russia in this. But feel free to meme the shit out of them and piss them off. Okay? Because they're doing the same exact shit to you. And if you think we lack morality, you just fucking wait. Because if Russia or China is in charge, you will not live long enough to regret it. Not even remotely. So, I can keep going through all this shit, but I'm not entirely sure why I would, when it should be common sense. This shit is all common sense. It breaks down into either they're too fucking stupid to understand really basic shit about trade corporations, which is the majority of the population, as I've learned, or they're being paid to be retards, either self-retarded on purpose to make money, or they're being paid by a foreign government to do the same outcome, which is to make sure. Okay, now, if let's say I was president of the current United States Trade Corporation, I would absolutely say no comment in order to let it ride. Let the dice roll ride. That's all you're going to do. Yeah, go ahead, bitch about it. And then, okay, you go ahead and bitch about that guy bitching about that guy. That's totally fine, since it's not going to have an impact on how anything works. When the profitability is gone, we will leave Ukraine. When it looks so bad that everybody gets voted out, then we'll leave. That's real world shit. However, I'm going to sit there and say, you're right. Hey, pick someone. You're right, Walmart and AT&T. You better keep the fuck open and keep selling shit to them. All right, you're absolutely right. CBs, make sure to deliver that water to them. You fucking ain't right. That bottled water, whatever, food, MREs, you're absolutely fucking right. Now, as somebody with a brain would tell you, and Andrew's not the only one, but let's take Andrew Bustamante for example, when he tells you it's money hand over fist, that's what this is. I don't see the fucking the disconnect with reality. You want it to be a corporation that pays you while you don't do anything for the corporation. You don't run a corporation by not doing trade in the most common, basic, understood ways for the last 4,000 years. Sun Tzu covered this. If you're too fucking stupid to understand a guy 5,000 years ago, you do not need to have a say of any kind in how the trade corporation should work. Surprisingly, by accident, I do actually agree with Jefferson on that one. And a couple others. Anyway, so you'll say, what does it have to do with me? Individually, you shouldn't give a fuck. Go about your deal. Go take your kids to school. Don't worry, it's not going to have an impact on you. If you just so happen to be part of the United States Corporation and are running sectors of it, you fucking ain't right. Why am I not sending over old 30-06 rounds from the 1920s for the BAR? Why aren't we sending them BARs, come to think of it? Old Maxims, water-cooled Maxims. Now, again, training is training. So we have some private contractors there, just like Wagner Group is over there. And I'm going to tell you, right here and right now, propaganda for the United States sucks. It's fucking garbage. Throw it away. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Now, it's a smart move to make. If, let's say, you were intelligence agencies, you're like, no. If I was to do media, this is how I would do the media. Which is just keep it, floating, a little bit of spike here and there, but peaks and troughs. It's just fine like it is, all right? But then you go look at Russian propaganda. It's fucking great. It's pure disco era. It's fucking outstanding. Marj with Russia Today is fucking outstanding. The Soloviev dude is fucking great. What motherfucker says? Who the fuck says, you know what, we need to nuke London? We really need to nuke... No. In fact, fuck London. We need to really nuke Devonshire. Some shit like that. And you're like, what the fuck is he talking about? Well, we need, let's take some of the more shitty 1950s nukes out of the back room back there, underneath, one of the old bases where it's leaking and shit, water and everything. Send some dumbasses down there to drag that shit out. And we'll just go dump that on fucking Devonshire. And you're like, what the fuck did That'd be like them saying, you know what we really need to do? We need to nuke Kentucky. And you're like, what the fuck? I need to drop a nuke on Kansas. Well, that kind of makes sense, almost if it was like, that's where all your grain comes from. It's not. So why the fuck would you nuke fucking North Florida? You know what I mean? What the fuck sense does that make? But the point was, it's great fucking propaganda. I've gotten serious fucking chuckles over the Russian propaganda on the Russia stations. All right. The shame of it is it's hard to come across with the English subtitle stuff. Okay? Okay. So, yes, you see paid Russian asset retards on Russia Today all the time, or on their different channels all the time. I don't care. That's for the FBI, the NSA, CIA, and the others to monitor. That's their job. That's what they get paid to do, is to keep an eye on these motherfuckers. I'm okay with that. Absolutely just fine with that. I would like to see some of the Chinese propaganda. I don't know what happened to that girl she had infographics, and it was fucking great, man. That Chinese propaganda shit was fucking outstanding. And I was like, oh, that's North Korea tier shit. Right? That's superior God Emperor Kim Jong-un, son, being the illest of the ill with his fucking MTV propaganda. Well, pre-MTV, the old school, so old school, it's, people jackbooting down the street with bayonets on their fucking, SVT 40s. And you're going, holy shit, does he have a fucking spiked bayonet on his pepper shaw? What the fuck is that? He's got a grenade launcher on that pepper shaw. What the fuck? How did you do that? It'd blow up the gun and you. But anyway, my point was, so unfortunately right now it's a little thin, a little hard for Slappy to get some of the good shit. I call that the good shit, because you get to see them experiment with their propaganda, and it's like, man, Margie is fucking good at it. She told some dude she's going to claw his eyes out if you interrupt me again, I'll claw your fucking eyes out. And I was like, damn. That was just to somebody she knew. Can you imagine what she'd do to a fucking American on the battlefield if you gave her a fucking Mosin Nagant with a bayonet on it? She'd be fucking winning the war by herself. Anyway, my point was, it's a shame because I can't get more propaganda, and I can't get it in English because it's hard to understand. I hate to tell you guys, just in case any Chinese agents or Russian agents are running loose and listening to me, which there may be, who knows, you may want to try your outreach a little better, you know what I mean? And at least get one or two videos out. I did get to see the Savalavadava guy, Savalavievsky, the dude at the Channel 1 or whatever the fuck it is in Russia, with the Wagner Group guy. And I was like, lol's a private corporation. It's fucking Savalava Duvanava with the head of the Wagner Group. And they were like, yeah, come work for us. And I was like, God damn, they're running penal battalions and shit again like this is 1941. What do you mean join, motherfucker? I ain't joining. That guy is a fucking serial killer, and that guy is a fucking serial car tire slasher. I ain't joining the military with these motherfuckers right here. Put me in the I guess you'd say it, the Moscow McNamara Moron Brigade. I'd be safer there. You know what I mean? But anyway, just saying, it's a shame that I can't get to see more of the Russian propaganda shit and more of the Chinese shit, because I did laugh. It's been, what, 2 years, a year at least since I've seen that Chinese, and I don't know what channel it was on in China. I don't know nothing about the girl that was, but they had fucking all kinds of video graphics and shit, and I was like, hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's hit the whiteboard. This is dirty, filthy American piggies. And this is what, let's hit the whiteboard, but let's do it with some good music and everything, And I was like, I'll be damned. Somebody in China, some old man was like, I have an idea. Let's ask Ting Ting, what the high school girl, how she would do propaganda. And it's like, bingo, got it done. Russia's not quite like that. Right now they're doing the older stuff, which is solid. which is solid. You know, dirty, filthy American pig commies. We hate you, and it's like, ooh, okay, this is pretty solid. You know, you got my interest now, Margie. What else you got? You know, and it's like, well, the filthy Americanas, our Grajdanines are the best Grajdanines, you know, and you're like, okay, all right, I'm still interested. What else you got? What else? Grab your bayonets, comrades. Fuck the Americanas, and you're like, okay. Nobody's going to grab their bayonets and chase Americans around in Russia. What the fuck are you doing? But I get it. I get the general gist of it. I'm only surprised she's not like, comrades, to your T-34s. To your T-34s. We've got shopping carts welded to the top. We've got bed frames hung on the sides. And it's like, damn, I almost want to join the Russian military now because I wouldn't mind a sweet T-34. You know what I'm saying? I won't live long enough to bring it back to America, but it would be sweet to have a sweet T-34, if you know what I'm saying. Or one of the others. You get the point. So, what is this all about? Not really, other than me getting a chuckle over the Wagner Private Corporation Group saying, hey, everybody, come join. And me saying, I don't think I'm going to, comrade. Nice try, pretty slick. I'm just surprised that they haven't done differing. Oh, but of course they're not American, so they don't have the American flair for it. Okay, they don't have the American McDonald's Golden Arches flair for it. They don't have the Apple iPod commercial for military genocide, right? They don't have that flair for it. They do have a flair for the old school stuff, and that is something that we don't got anymore. I mean, they just step right back into World War II and are like, what's this? And you're like, not bad. That ain't fucking shabby. We can't do it. You know, anyway, we would have to do it with the commercialized aspects of it. It's like, it's just not as good. It's not. And the Chinese, I guess, are stuck in some weird ass, and it's amusing. They don't understand Americans. They just don't. They can't. I don't think they can. If they're in China, from China, they're Chinese, so they're not going to understand you. Okay? They don't know an American to talk to understand. Correct? Okay. So, you know that they're like, what is this dude with, you know, an extra head on his neck? He's an American, and oh, I don't understand rap. Shit like that. MTV, I don't understand. Why is there a dude on the moon in a music video? You know, they're not going to get it. I mean, the younger kids do because they adapt and they're a lot quicker than the older generation in those regards. But when you do that, they start to like the tradition of the older generation. Russia doesn't have that problem. Okay? China, I don't know about. They've been so heavily industrialized and fucking around with their experimental shit on the economy. I don't know how much loyalty is left, like, to the nation state. So, anyway, but my point was their propaganda is, when it's aimed at Americans, is fucking hilarious. It's fucking great, too. I'm not knocking. I'm not even being an ironic asshole. I'm being unironic as shit. When it's done right. You know what I mean? When it's done. The Russian commercials about retarded Americans are fucking great. You can't beat that shit, man. That is like a moving meme that's just fucking great. You know, the dude on the airplane, shit like that. Well, let's just turn around and go back home. It cannot be worse at home. And I was like, that's fucking great. That's solid. All right. But anyway, that is the world in a nutshell, right? Punching out the ghost of Kiev, you know, and stuff, which is literally the Sasquatch of Kiev. I mean, I'm surprised. I had said this before. I'm super surprised they're not blaming aliens for some shit in Ukraine too. Oh, it was aliens. It was totally aliens, man. Wouldn't that be nice? Like Russia's blaming aliens, CIA's blaming fucking aliens, you know. The French are blaming aliens for them genociding a fucking village, right? You know, it's like, well, it's obviously the aliens. And you dumb motherfuckers will go for it, too. Oh, yeah, man, it was obviously the Greys, dude. Fox Mulder said it's fucking Greys, man. No, it's not the dickhead with the bayonet that's speaking Russian over there. No, it's fucking aliens. I'm not gonna lie, I got some fucking chuckles. Oh, also, when you get a chance, watch Rabbit Hole with Kiefer Sutherland. One of the two greatest Sutherlands, his dad being the other greatest Sutherland. And that's actually very interesting. It actually might have something to do with this shitty video I just did. Telling you shit that you already know about. Why am I telling you something you should already know? Alright, should I do product placements about... See, if Margie Taylor Greene, other than screaming about Space Jew lasers, which, by the way, I will never forget until the day I die. That is one of the greatest things I've ever... Just random. Out of the fucking blue. Space Jew lasers is the fucking problem. And you're like, yes, obviously. All this time, I thought it was fucking something else. And it's fucking Space Jew lasers. Thank you, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I could have never... Anyway, would I marry her? I would consider it. Okay, I would definitely... If she says dumb shit like that all the time, and she says it with a straight face knowing it's dumb shit, because she knows it, I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. I would, you know, she'd wake you up at 3 in the morning. Let me tell you something. It's the fucking lizard people. And you're like, God damn it, Marjorie. Go back to sleep. Don't do sound bites while I'm trying to sleep. I don't give a fuck about lizard people. All right? She will say, well, obviously, it's fucking lizard people. And she would probably stare at you deadpan and do finger air quotes. Lizard people. The only person that I've ever seen in my life that makes me laugh that fucking hard over something that simple is Boris fucking Johnson. Boris Johnson never gets old for me. I do not know why, and neither does Marjorie Taylor Greene. I know I'm supposed to be mad. Oh my God, everybody's dying, billions and trillions. Yeah, they've been dying long before you were here, and they're going to keep on fucking dying. There ain't nothing I can do about it. Unless you want to say maybe we should become communists, just take over the whole planet. Oh, did I kill the mood? Oh, gee, sorry about that, because that's what you were going to say. And then we can all sing Kumbaya and there is no God, and you know, so on and so forth. Yeah, no, let's get past that to Marjorie Taylor Greene being fucking hilarious, because that's the only thing I'm going to get out of this conversation, is that right there. Is it worth it? Yes. Pay her more. Some motherfucker pay her more, because that makes me laugh. Okay? That makes me laugh extremely hard. There are people all over the fucking planet going, that's fucking hilarious. That's fucking hilarious. Now, the not my problem thing is literally individually. It's not my problem. I've got shit to do so I can make money to eat food. Straight up. I know I'm supposed to have some bigger, grander humanitarian... No, motherfucker, NATO don't pay me. UN don't pay me. UN does not protect my borders. UN is not my cop. NATO is not my local judge. Ukraine is definitely none of the above on that. Okay, the governor is the governor, and he's... So, whatever. Alright? Don't give a fuck about it. If I was running a trade corporation, yes, I would give a fuck about that, and I would do exactly what I said, and it'd be just a garbage proxy refrigerator box that all the hobos are pissing on, and selling the shit out of ho-hos and fucking Twinkies, basically, which is what it is. Now, that was going to happen whether I existed or not, and whether you give a shit or not, and you don't give a shit because you're not going to stop it, and you're not going to take anything over to stop it. So, there's that, which, and you'll think, I wonder if this will ever come back in another video Slappy may do. All of this. I don't know. Maybe we should discuss the Israel Company colony. How many times have we done this? How many times has Russia done this? Or, I don't know, Germany and Adolf Schicklgruber. We can keep doing it. The only one I know that'll tell the fucking truth is Andy. Handy Andy will walk out and say, yeah, no, everybody's doing it and all you people are fucking retards. And you go, yeah, he's right. He's fucking right. He would not be wrong. You're either on top or you're on your way out. Which one do you want? And if you're on your way out, you are not going to enjoy it. If you think your life sucks now with your little piddly Annie horse shit whining out here, you do not know how bad it is elsewhere. Okay? We can do the elsewhere part just for you so you can get a taste of that fucking shit. And then I guarantee you'll be like, you know what, Ukraine is totally not my fucking problem. Go ahead and keep sending shit over there. All right, now, another part of Margie Taylor Greene. I hate to tell you this. United States Corporation is a sovereign corporation. It can literally print money at will and send money to a bunch of fucking idiot farmers or TikTokers. I can't even use the old jokes anymore. A bunch of peasant-ass farmers with pitchforks. I can't use that. Because that's not what they are. These are fucking kids that do TikTok and cell phones and everything. So it's not the same as that. So, anyway, Ukraine and you, or I should say the Ukrainian Corporation and you, sub-franchise of the United States Corporation, should I give a fuck? Individually, no. Go about your business. You're not running that. I know you know that, right? Are you mad because you're not running that? Here's an idea. Go get a job and go run it. Go get elected, go run it. That'll fix all that shit, won't it? Now, if you're a complete fucking moron, you won't understand that war has always been profitable for every fucking advanced society. That's why they keep doing it. Oh shit, my stuff's collapsing internally. Time to go to war, said Russia. This is the fifth time this century it's going to collapse. Time to go to war. We got to keep it rolling. But at the same time, I've already explained logistics, human knowledge, how it works. Got to keep it rolling. Mechanics. You don't have to like it. It doesn't matter whether you fucking like it or not. Okay? Okay. Just as long as you know. I know it hurts some people's feelings. They're like, well, Slappy would totally fight for the little man. What the fuck? I can't go to Ukraine. I guarantee you, if I get on a plane and show up in Ukraine, somebody's going to come arrest me. Ain't going to be Russians or Ukrainians. It's probably going to be Americans. They'll be like, what the fuck are you doing here? Not only that, now we're going to have to, like, rough you and fuck you up. And what am I going to tell them? Well, I come to fight for Ukraine. They're going to say, no, you're going to get your ass back on the fucking airplane and go home. And we'll let one of these other retard kids that are really good at TikTok drive around, an American kid or whatever with cell phones shooting at Russians, and that'll make us our money. You don't. Get the fuck out. That is probably what would happen. And secondly, what am I going to do? Go grab a fucking M1 Garand and just go take it out on the Russians and beat them single-handedly? No, I'm not a fucking retard. I know better than that. I individually probably cannot beat a T-34 tank from the 1940s. What the fuck makes you think you can? What the fuck makes you think your feelings are going to do that? Because the people at the top run it. You ain't one of them. That's the hard realities that you got to fucking deal with. Either vote them out vote them out and go be in charge yourself and then tell me how it turns out. Well, Slappy, I proved you wrong, you stupid motherfucker. I took control. We're stopping this. And then I'm going to ask you, well, how are you going to keep everybody employed now? Well, I didn't think that through. I was more about my feelings were hurt. And, my butt hurt. And the KGB bots were in the comment section saying, it's not my fucking problem. Well, you know what? I just really... Well, okay. So, as a Russian asset, thanks for collapsing my American economy. I appreciate the shit out of that. Yeah, see? And you tell me active measures and propaganda don't work. Sure, they don't. They don't exist. Russians don't exist. Propaganda doesn't exist. Nothing exists. Except you shouldn't fight. And you shouldn't care. Well, and you're right. Because these things are not mutually exclusive. I don't give a fuck. You pay me and I will give a fuck. But if I was a trade corporation, I absolutely would give a fuck and then tell you I don't give a fuck. While doing everything I want. While Rand corporations call the congressman at 3 in the fucking morning. Jim, I told you, motherfucker, if you said anything, I'd release that shit on you. Because that's how that fucking works. Alright, straight up. This is not Magic Land, motherfucking Alice in Wonderland. Harvey Pooter, alright, with your magic wands and shit. In the real world, the trade corporation rolls on. If it does not roll on, it dies and you speak Russian or Chinese. That's how simple that is, okay? So you can hold out in your little, like these fucking retards. I'm going to hold out in a bunker. I'm going to hold out in a fucking bunker, man. And when America collapses, I'll be, no, motherfucker, you ain't going to last that long. You're going to be running around shooting deer and shit. Meanwhile, technologically advanced society has ceased to exist here because you're a retard that thinks a sharp stick is society. That's why you're not in charge of a trade corporation the size of a continent. Are you ready? With 7 billion customers across the entire face of the planet. That is something to be achieved. You waving a stick at a T-34, them goddamn Americans with their borrowed T-34s on Lend-Lease, you do not have any impact, little cog. Better that you know your place now than be taught your place later the hard way. So, that's it. Have a good day. Go join the Ukrainian military if you want. Go join the Russian military if you want. I don't give a fuck. Don't come to my house if you do either. Because I don't want involved in this shit. Because if you showed up at my house, yo, I just joined the Ukrainian military. The goddamn FBI will be right behind you. And they'll probably bust my ass for something. I don't know what. I don't want to know. Right? So don't show up doing that shit. Oh, look, I joined Savalava Lavayev's propaganda channel 1. Get the fuck out of my yard, man. I don't want that shit. I don't want the fucking CIA at my fucking house. Get the fuck out of here. Now you go do you somewhere way the fuck away from me, okay? So, there you are. Almost an hour of wasted fucking time. Just retreading the civilization tire, right? Just trying to reinvent the fucking wheel every time you see this shit, you know. Oh, yeah, no. How about I just don't worry about it at all until someone pays me and then I'll care. Because trust me, your morality is not worth anything because you truly do not give a fuck to begin with. All right? So, there you are. I'm out of here.